Hey, how are you, Nick?
Fine, thank you.
I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, appreciate you being interested. Thank you, Adam.
Of course. Yeah, I'm Adam, and this is about you, the band, your journey in music.
Yeah.
Um, Amazing. So, I always start off with born and raised. The band's in where? Switzerland? Is that what I saw?
Yes, exactly. Zurich.
Zurich. Are you originally from there?
Yes.
Okay, born and raised.
Yeah, born and raised. Not
Awesome.
always lived there, but born and raised. Yeah.
Born and raised. What's so like growing up there? I know it's the capital, right, of the country.
No, it's
Oh, it's
a little
not.
bit funny situation. It's a little bit like in a few countries. The capital of Switzerland is not very big. So it is kind of it's the biggest city. So it's the
Oh, but it's
uh,
not the capital. I must have gotten confused there.
no, the political capital is Bern.
Oh, okay.
So
Shows how
Zurich
much
is
I
like
know
the
about geography, huh?
Yeah, but it's often people do this confusion because Zurich is the cultural and the economic capital. It's just the biggest city.
Oh, got it. Okay, but it's not the political capital of the country.
Exactly.
Interesting. So, what was it like growing up there? I mean, is it's the biggest city, so obviously the most populated place. Is it the place that has the most like clubs and all of that as far as like music goes?
Exactly. It's I love it. I came back as well. I lived in Spain for a long time, or for 10 years, and I always wanted, or I appreciate it for sure more now as well. Probably when you've been out, but I always appreciate it because what is really nice is that there was a slogan once of Tourism Switzerland that was called Little Big City. And that's
Oh,
described it a lot. So it's a city, as it's the biggest city. It's where the clubs are, it's where the music goes on, it's where the cultural life, and the cultural life is very interesting. I mean, techno was born in Zurich and Berlin, and
hmm.
Zurich was before Berlin. So just to give it, it's a thing. Electronic music was basically born here. And so it is a very interesting place, but in the meantime, it's small. You can actually traverse the whole city on your bike within an hour.
No way. You could just go
Yeah,
around the whole thing. That's
yeah.
wild. I think.
Not around. You can traverse it.
Oh,
You can,
but still, go.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Go across the entire
You
city
can
within an
cross
hour.
the
Yeah.
entire city in an hour with a bike. So it is just 500,000. It is close to the mountains, and still it feels like a really big city in terms of what you get in as a music scene and as clubs and other cultural offers.
Yeah, that's incredible. And as far as your specific journey in music, do you come from like a creative household? Any musicians in your family? Like, where did you start off?
I come from no musicians in my family, but my mother is a writer.
Oh, cool.
Who published around 20 books, and a journalist.
Wow. What
And
did
her
she write? I'm
sister,
just curious. Sorry. Like
sorry?
nonfiction or fiction books? What does she write?
Both, but mainly feminist topics. So she was one of the important feminist writers of Switzerland. Uh,
Wow.
when, like in the beginning of this literature, or the high times of the feminism in the 70s and stuff.
That is
Uh,
awesome. That's really cool. So
and
would
her
she do like
sister,
book tours and stuff? Do you remember as a kid, like her just kind of being, tucked away writing, and then like when a book came out, seeing your mom's name on it, that must have been pretty cool.
yeah, yeah, and I brought a book out with her as well. We
Oh,
invented a kids fiction novel that came out. So I was with 12. I was quite, because I was like featured as co-author. So I was when I was 12, kind of, in interviews because of this book and stuff, and was that was a creative. It was a creative household for sure, but more in literature than
wow.
than in music. Yeah.
But you're the songwriter as far as lyrics go in the band?
I'm the co-songwriter.
Okay.
Marco and me, we do it together, but I'm the singer and I'm the lyrics writer. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so when it comes to that, I'm sure obviously having mom in the house as a writer and even being a co-author on a book at 12 years old, that's probably something that you were naturally good at, or was it, were you interested in English and or maybe not English, but in literature and writing as a child, or like did you kind of hone that skill early on?
Always. I wrote other stuff as well. Then I lived quite a wild life, so I didn't stick on it. But I wrote a few theater pieces. I'm always writing. It's very natural to me, and it's important. I've been a journalist for a while in my life, so it's something that comes very natural. That's very close to me. Yes, writing is something that's part of me.
Got
And
it.
talking about English, I learned English very, very young. And I have a very fast access to any language. So for me, it's not unnatural to write in another language when I'm good at. And so I'm doing I write in French and Spanish sometimes as well.
Really? I wish I had that skill, man. I grew up in San Diego. I could throw a rock and hit the border and of Mexico, and I still like I I've, I could listen and hear Spanish and kind of hold a conversation, but I wish I was like really fluent in the language. It never stuck for me. It's like even as a kid, like I don't have that muscle in my brain. I feel like. I'm just jealous of and envious of people that can do that. I think it's such a rad, skill to have, and not only, I mean, just something to have in general to be able to go to another country and just
Yeah,
be able to communicate.
it is a nice skill. Yeah, and I have the advantage that I even pass as a native in many countries, and that's cool as well. And that's so
Sure.
in Spain they think I'm from the Basque country, and so it's a nice thing. You can kind of you get incognito.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
gonna say you got to go fly under the radar. Like, yeah, I'm from here.
that, yeah.
As far as music goes, when did you get into music? I mean, I know just you, like you said earlier, kind of like the electronic music scene kind of start or really did start um in Switzerland. And was that something that you were interested, or were you into that prior to? It's not what you're doing now with Non-Exister, obviously, but like where did you start as far as music goes, or have you always been really interested in the metal scene?
I've always been interested. I mean, when it says the start was as a kid. I started playing the guitar at 8, and then wrote my own songs and stuff, singer songwriter style. That's what I did, and then you go through all these phases of a teenager, or some do probably. I was more like a little bit in the hippie direction, and then goth, and then punk. And so my adult life was then first in the goth scene, and then in the punk scene. And I'm very much in the DIY punk scene. That's actually my thing. So I actually lamentably um didn't take part of this electronic movement,
Okay.
I would liked that I wouldn't have been as ignorant, but I was a punk, and
Right.
I was interested in punk and hardcore,
Uh-huh.
and very much in this DIY scene as well. From my life, I lived in squat houses. I was, and I'm still often an activist, a less radical probably than I was, but still. I mean, you can see the features in the lyrics as well.
Well,
That
and
I'm
in the video, right? I mean, the
Yeah,
the music video you guys put out.
exactly. That I'm that I have opinions, and that I'm concerned about the world. So I lived in this DIY scene. That's actually my, as a musician, my musical history. So I
Okay.
mainly did complicated hardcore in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
All these were in the 90s, where all these from No Means No to whatever, all these rhythmical, complicated hardcore stuff. And I made punk. That's actually the two things that I did before Non-Exister mainly.
Okay, interesting. It's when you said, you were punk and got it was just like that was it, right? You didn't pay attention much to what was going on as far as the electronic scene, and that's how I kind of grew up too. I feel like my generation was almost the last of the um if you listen to punk, you listen that was it. Like, you wouldn't tell your friends like, "Oh, yeah, I went home and listened to this pop record." It was like, "I listen to punk," or "I listen to hip hop," or "I listen to this,"
Yeah.
and exclusively that. And now it's like you look at lineups and festivals and with Spotify playlisting and everything else, it's like the spectrum of you could like Ariana Grande and Rancid and, whoever, like it's so big and open now. It's fascinating to see that for me at least.
Yeah.
Instead of when I grew up, it was like if you listen to punk, you listen to like these bands,
Yeah.
and then you find bands that they sounded like, or a new band spinning off of that genre instead of like, oh, I
And if
like
you're
this
into
song and this song.
skater punk, you're not into the rougher stuff, and if you're into the rougher stuff, you're not into skate punk,
Yeah, it
stuff
gets
like that. Yeah.
really, really, yeah, really niche when it comes to even that. It's like, oh, you listen to this hardcore. Well, I only listen to
Yeah.
bands like, Operation Ivy, or I only listen to Slayer type music. It's
Yeah.
funny how that it even broke down even further when you looked at it. Now it's like you can listen to everything, and a lot of people listen to everything more so
And I think
than before.
and I think it's nice, it's nice as well for the DIY scene. I mean, I'm still very much in the DIY scene, and I appreciate it a lot. It's beautiful being part of a cultural scene, um, a part of the normal music scene as well, or the usual or commercial or whatever, to be
Hmm.
part of a scene where people really do it by heart.
Hmm.
Every place you play, people often work for free just to have their cool club. You're not talking, it's not about the money. It's much more important that the bands get really good food, that they can drink as much beer as they want, than the actual money you get, as long as you can get to the next venue, and have enough
Right.
for that.
Drive gas
All
money
the
to get there or whatever it may
Exactly.
be.
And all these people doing all this cultural stuff by heart, it's
Mhm.
still a very important scene to me.
I
So,
love that.
and I think it's beautiful that this scene is not only flooded with punk and hardcore now, as it was, but that there's so many different events happening there. There's electronic parties, there's hip hop, there's all kind of, and that's much more interesting actually in the end culturally.
Mhm.
But
And
the
you'll see
punk
these
hardcore,
genres kinda crossing
yeah,
over a lot more now, or like you have this type of artist that will go this direction, but they're still kind of, intertwining both their influence. It's really, I feel like it's just broken open this whole new like idea of what music can be, instead of like so binary. Like, I only like this, and that's all I'm gonna listen to, and that's all I care about. And yeah, it's just a
exactly.
fascinating world. So I mean, in the DIY scene, you were in what, punk bands, hardcore bands, and from there, it's like at one point you ended up moving to Spain, and was that to pursue music, or like were you in a band that like had some recognition? Like, what kind of continued your journey on in the
So the
music
important thing there
world?
was I'm a very addicted climber.
Oh,
Um,
like mountain climbing?
rock climbing, yeah,
I mean, rock
mountain
climbing.
well, but
Sorry.
rock climbing, yeah, yep. And I travel the world always for um hard rock in another in hard rock,
Hard
for
rock during hard rocks. Yeah.
exactly to for hard roots and for the community, and just it's a sports like surfing often or stuff. You travel to the good spots, and there's a good community. So, and Spain is kind of one of the capitals, if not the capital of that sport, or it is actually
Interesting.
the capital of that sport. So I spent a lot of time there, and I just got stuck in a climbing climbing place that was emergent and very important at the place, with a lot of very hard routes
Mhm.
to try. And there was a beautiful place for sale. So we bought it together with friends and put our own climbing lodge there. Um, which, as two of them are musicians as well, which is a concert venue as well, and stuff.
Wow.
So we put a good climbing and concert bar slash lodge slash restaurant in the Spanish mountains, and that's where I lived for 10 years, hosting this project and making music there,
Mhm.
and yeah, hosting a lot of bands there and stuff. And then I came back, and I always had um, a dream of an industrial project,
Mhm.
industrial metal project kind of. I was always into alternative metal and stuff. And um, Marco and me, as Zurich's got a very good music scene, but as it's not that big, you know each other somehow
Mhm.
as a musician. You follow each other's stuff if you're not of totally different ranges. I don't know every jazz musician here, but I mean, he did stuff
Yeah,
in
you within your scene of people who you're seeing at clubs and shows and stuff. You are able to
exactly.
kind of know
And
everybody.
we were talking about this before already. Now and then that we both have this idea. So I came back and I didn't have a project. So my first idea was to ask Marco, actually, if he's up, because it's the old dream. Actually, let's do this instead of jumping into the next punk band kind of.
Mhm.
And to me, who is a singer, really, and a writer, it is from, I mean, punk is the soundtrack of my youth, is the soundtrack of my movement, and is very important to me. But for me to there's a lot of potential in being able to work that. And I always had a leg in theater as well, and in movies, so I always did stuff there as well. That's why I wrote theater pieces as well. And I've never had it as my main art, but it was always something that touched me a lot, and that I worked with in professional projects. So this is to go into this field gives me the opportunity to actually do much more, even my art, I think.
Mhm.
You know, it was
Yeah, I was gonna
important
say
to
because
me.
the videos you do for the music are very, theatrical, and they look like a film, right? I mean, they're like short films.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was gonna ask you about that. Like, was that kind of going into this project? Were you thinking that way? Like, okay, I love this. I want to do this style of band. I want to have this sound, but I also want to make sure it kind of is linear to being able to write cool music videos that mean something instead of, maybe just writing to be in a band, but did you want to mesh the two? Was that kind of the idea going into this?
No, that came with the time, actually.
Oh,
We just
okay.
started, was we were drinking a beer together and a few drinks in a bar, and I asked Marco, and then we just started. And it was always clear there should be something in the direction of industrial, alternative metal, stuff like that. But then we started actually very intuitively. And the beautiful thing was that we noted that we match extremely creatively. Um, he, it was really just like a revelation almost, when we started to work together. Can tell you a little anecdote on this after, and then we'll come back to the videos. And so we started to work, and then out of this, um, doing all these things, for me, it was clear that it has to be um, this kind of sound, so that this would be theatrical, and that Marco has this always. He makes atmospheres when he makes
Mhm.
music. So it was the perfect that was the idea, I think, as well, of the match. He knew I'm a versatile and theatralic singer. Um, I knew he makes atmospheres, he layers sounds to create emotions and stuff. So it was, I think, for both clear that the songs are probably not gonna have usual, or not all are going to have usual sound structures, that
Mhm.
they can have a lot more freedom, that songs could be long and stuff. And so we just worked on this. But then when you work on something like this, and it is so atmospherical in terms of sound, and you make lyrics that mean something to you, that are socially critical, philosophical, where you really think about things, contemplate about things, if you have this um uh m- figurative side, this side of thinking in um motion pictures, on in scenes, in scenical, um then you often have images in your head already
Hmm.
that are scenic. So that's where it started, actually, that it was clear, okay, we want to make an extension of our art into this field. It was not planned in the beginning, but it felt, looking back in my life, where theater and movie always played a role, or from time to time played a role. It's actually quite logic, but I don't think I thought about it before we started.
Okay, it just kind of happened that way
Yeah,
during the process.
as
Yeah.
many things. That's what I said about and that's so beautiful in the collaboration with Marco. He's a really, for me, quite a genius in layering and creating stuff. A very genius producer,
Mm.
and we agree on so many things. So what happens is, we don't. I mean, if we have to discuss things, we do it very respectfully,
Mhm.
and we don't have fights like other bands probably have. And but or you hear a lot of stories there, but as well, we inspire each other a lot. We often say we're definitely one of these um projects where you can say one and one is three or even five, because
Mm.
neither of us two would be able to make this music alone. So it's actually
Okay.
really the match who produces it, and that's the anecdote that I wanted to tell you. On the first song, "You're Pain Up My Veins," which was always the first song, just by Hazard. It was the first song we wrote, was the first song. It is now the first song on the album, was the first song we made a video for, but not planned as well. But that was actually, we met in Marco's studio, and he just presented a rough track, some rough elements. And as you are a little bit timid in the first time when you meet another musician you ever played with, like, hey, what do you think? And I was, well, like, wow, like I said, open the mic, I said immediately, open the mic. And he was, huh, what? Wow, this guy just wants to sing immediately, and said, yeah, record, and I sang immediately. And then I was timid, and I said, well, what do you think? I gave you different options. Wow, that's great. I'm going to take all of them, and then he, so it was like all this. So we have a very intuitive way of working, and I think that's a very great thing as well. Not only because it's very nice to work that way,
Uh-huh.
but as well because it is a very good option to make good art, I think. Because art as is best at its best happens, I think, when it can flow.
Mhm.
And when you have to interfere always with your brain, you break something that you can't produce after by your conscious brain. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because if you're in kind of the moment and then you're like, "Oh, hold on, let's stop this for a second and try blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah," then you're almost putting a stop to whatever could have
Yeah.
been or where you were kind of going in that one direction.
Yeah. Yeah. That's as
When it
well why I always record. When I improvise, I always record.
Oh, so you're able to kind of pull some of that sometimes, like, "Oh, like, this was really rad, and maybe it will fit on this other song."
We'll do it mostly like this. When
Interesting.
I start to make vocal lines, I improvise usually first.
Oh, and then you can kind of and go back and take the melody or
And then
whatever,
I
right?
pick, or Marco picks. That's what I love a lot in the work with Marco as well, that he picks very often, and he takes things that I would have thrown away because I didn't hear it because it's mine. So I'm
Uh-huh.
overcritical, and he said, "No, it's great. Look, because of that." And then, you know, so I like this kind of collaboration a lot as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And with like with the songs that you do, I mean, the music videos you put out, kind of going back to that are so like I said, they're like films, right? They're like short films, and the amount of effort and work goes into that. Is it you have the song and then you're like, oh, this would be a I have this great you said you kind of see images when you're writing. Is that kind of going back to, okay, like this would be a rad music video? Like I already had this kind of idea while this song was going.
Can happen. I often have images in my head when I write, or even Marco, when he does. Um, but sometimes they become a video like Drowning in the Void.
Hmm.
This is based on my initial story. Then I
Oh
had the
wow.
luck to have a meet with Justin Stoneham, a great director
Hmm.
who is a very nice person to collaborate as well, who with whom we then developed actually the book and made the video. And once the book was written, he slipped into the role of the director, and I slipped into the role of the actor. Um,
Oh, you have a book on this too? I didn't realize that.
I mean the storybook, the
Oh,
storybook.
okay. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Got the like the
Oh,
treatment
this, yeah,
of
the
the thing.
treatment.
Got it.
No, the treatment is only no. I mean the really the actual book where you have every detail. The first
Oh,
treatment.
okay. I understand. Sorry. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. That makes
yeah,
more sense.
the final decision, actually, how you do it. But on many other things, I mean, I'm doing art for long enough to know that it's not always my idea doesn't have to be the best one. You lose a lot of selfishness, I think, throughout the years, and that's a good thing because you're more attentive. There's so many good people around with so many good ideas,
Hmm.
and I'm not unexperienced in these fields, but I'm not a director, professional director. And so often we do shout outs for the songs, for the videos, to a bunch of directors through a production company we like a lot and with whom we collaborate. And we do shout outs and see the treatments that come in. And we don't say,
Oh,
yeah, and we don't say we want a video for this song. We
you
say,
just
hey,
send all the songs and see what
here are the
some
songs.
comes back.
Exactly. Because again, people are best when they can work intuitive. So they should write a treatment for the song that inspires them.
Mm. Yeah, I like that. And then you can get probably a bunch of different ideas and different directors for and
Exactly. And then we
stylistically
pick
for
the
the video.
ones we really like.
Okay.
So of the videos that are out now, it would be too many laurels for us to say we have the images because it's only Drowning in the Void until now that is based on a story that I initiated, and the others were just great ideas by other directors. And it goes that far that if that they even convince us sometimes of things that we wouldn't have thought. The video for A Promise in the Air
Uh-huh.
is a dance video.
Yeah, that's a rad video, and that's a like you talked about, like, length song lengths. I mean, the song's, like, over like, almost 6.5 minutes, and you watch the music video, and it's so engaging that, I didn't realize I'd watched a 6-minute video at the end. I was like, "Damn," like, I didn't realize the song was that long.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope the song did the same effect on you. I think it's
No, 100%. I
a
just checked it
nice.
out first before I listened to the song in full. I was sent, your PR stuff, and it had the video, and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch the video. Why not?" Instead of
Yeah,
going
sure.
to the link of Spotify or whatever it may be, and I was like, "Damn, like this is really cool," and I didn't realize the length of it. Oh wow,
Thank
they
you.
did.
Yeah,
There's a lot of songs nowadays are 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes tops. So, the most recent video you did, a song for "Where Does My Mind Go." How is that was that one shot? I mean, she's underwater for, like, literally 3 minutes.
4,
4 minutes without coming
4
up.
minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes.
How do you find somebody that can hold their breath out? I grew up as a swimmer,
Yeah,
and I could swim 50 meters underwater there and back, and I'd come up and be, like, about to die. Like, literally,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
4 minutes is so long.
I mean, 50 meters is long already.
But
Respect.
not 4
Yeah,
minutes. And that was when I was, like, 17.
yeah,
Now I'd probably, do 30 feet and then have to to pop up,
yeah.
but
It
wow.
it it is a one shot. It is a one shot. It is real time. Um,
That's incredible. And what do you put a casting call? Like, who can hold their breath for 4 minutes?
we didn't have to. It was by hazard. This was the idea of director Elias Resegatti,
Mhm.
and it was just we were totally flashed by the idea. It was a great idea, and so so we were totally convinced. And then we were thinking around, and um, just by accident, I know an actor here in Zurich who is a freediver as well.
Okay.
I just remembered that she was not performing for about 2 years or 1 year, I don't remember, because she was traveling um, Southeast Asia doing freediving with her boyfriend, who is an actor as well. And so I said, "Hey, probably we should ask Momo if she's able to do that." And she's a great actor, and she's a freediver. That was just lucky that we knew her.
Oh my gosh.
Friend.
Does she hold some sort of record? I mean, I would be interested to know how long somebody can hold their breath underwater. Because 4 minutes seems like you've got to be the top, 0.01% of human beings that could do that.
Apparently not. I just wrote an article that for
Oh
us it's
wow.
incredible, but apparently people who are really professional free divers, they do between 8 and 11 minutes. Yeah,
Oh my, it's like how does your I
the pros.
like
Yeah,
how does your brain go without oxygen for that long? It's just so
yeah.
crazy.
And
Oh my gosh.
it's very interesting what Momo said, because about the process. Because she said it's quite a special thing to have to do this. I mean, what you have to do is control your breath, your emotions, your body, your blood flow, your heart rate, all that stuff. And so doing this, even as a professional actor, doing this in front of a film team is something very special. And then what happens when you do free diving? I mean, I'm just repeating what she said, is that you have to get into this total calmness,
Mhm.
no, control it completely. But then from time to time, your body notices the lack of air and you get into kind of a panic. And then you have to fight the panic and get control of that. And she had this process in front of a film team and having the song in the ear. So what happened is
Oh.
throughout, because she had to know when how long she has to take and stuff.
I was gonna ask you, like, did you have to like hold the flag up and say it's time that you can come up now?
She had the song underwater, water. I mean, you don't hear it the same way, but you hear it. And
Mhm.
just she said throughout the verses, she was in this calm mode, and then when the refrain came, the panic came. Was kind of
Oh,
according to the song structures quite often.
interesting.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah, I watched that and I'm like, it took me a couple times. I'm like, yeah, she definitely is under because you see the air bubbles come up like
yeah.
very, very like subtly at some moments, like not very many come up, but you're like, yeah, I would imagine you have to be in some sort of very meditative, like, state to be able to
Yeah.
really hold your composure that long. And then she's
And
opening her eyes. Like that would not add to the fun of being underwater for 4 minutes either, I would imagine.
yeah. No, and the
So,
thing is, I mean, I don't know if it happened to you, but to me, I mean, I feel it. I suffer with her. I feel it almost physically, and I think the reason is because it's real. She
mhm.
is actually suffering. She's not acting.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
even if
like
she's
I
an
can't even
actor.
imagine, right? You can think of when you can't catch your breath or when you're underwater and you're like, okay, my body's freaking out. It's time to get to the surface. And she's just so calm, and you can kind of see, like you said, her fighting it, and then it's back to like a calm, and then she comes up and it's like smiling, like what?
Yeah,
And not it's just
yeah.
like, yeah, I'm out. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Ah,
it
she looks
was
quite panicking in the beginning. She's like, like,
right. And then it's slowly she kind of gets
and
into
then she
this
goes
like
like back and goes like, whoa, what happened? Yeah,
right, right, right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's yeah, it's it's a really cool video. And these songs were all this is like the first batch of material you all have put together, and then you're gonna put the debut album out? Because it sounds
Yeah,
like you said, yeah, the first song you released was also the first song you did a video for,
yeah,
which
and
is on
it's
the
the first song
album.
on the album.
Yeah.
So yeah, so these are all. It's not. It wasn't planned like this, but it's actually the the playlist of the album until now as
Hmm.
well.
Oh
The
wow.
album
Okay.
merges in, but that was more by accident as well. So it's the songs in this thing, and then there's more songs on the album. But all the songs that we brought out so far are on the album. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I'm excited to check out the full record. Are you doing videos for every song?
We don't think for the whole, but probably it's again how arts come. But we have new songs
Okay.
already, so probably we're going to come with the new songs. But there's two really cool videos still in the making that will come. So there's a video for Storm coming. So the song Storm is coming out with the album with a video which is a serious topic. It's about the rise of the extreme right at the
Okay.
moment and other extremists. Um, and the video is from the same director who did How Do You Dare?
Oh, really? Okay. What a great
Very,
video that it was. I love how it's I mean, you think that it's the beginning where he's being where this person's being arrested by the police, and then it's just like this whole back. It like it goes in reverse. Like what
yeah,
here's the real story. And then it
yeah.
ends in the pizza place. And yeah, that's a
Oh,
really great video.
and what we said before. I mean, you were talking about How Do You Dare? I mean, this video. It's Dave Bullivant from England, from the UK, who does these videos, and he's an incredible director.
Mhm.
And what he actually managed, I mean, How Do You Dare is about victim blaming, and victim blaming is not a phenomenon. It's uh, usually discussed in terms of sexualized violence.
Mhm.
And this is an important topic, but it is actually a phenomenon, a psychological phenomenon that happens everywhere. You can't have, um, it's usually perpetrators blame their victims, always.
Right, right, right.
Every genocide was rectified by um, a lie about how bad these people are, or that they attacked the perpetrators or whatever. It's everywhere, and it's even there in small scale in all of us. We tend
Mhm.
already as kids to say, you beat up somebody and say, nah, but it was him, because
Yeah, he
no,
did this first. That's why I did it. This is why
exactly.
why I retaliated, right?
Exactly. So it is the same phenomenon from just usual, not understandable kind of, in an everydays, unto, up to mass murder shit. So it is a very interesting topic to think about, and I think it is as well. How do societies get fanatized and get to be perpetrators as a whole?
Mhm.
How do you switch it, because you don't see yourself as a perpetrator? You always see yourself as a defender, even if
Right.
you are if you are the perpetrator. So it is interesting, and probably as well important, to think about these things in a self-critical way. And that's why I mean, the lyrics are a little bit more an accusation, but even more in the video, we play with your perspectives and with your prejudices. You
Uh-huh.
see this person on the floor, and it's in the beginning, and that's why we took somebody who is androgen. You don't really see in the beginning, is it a her, is it a him, and stuff. And
Yeah, that
you
was
think,
quite a flip at the end there, right?
yeah, and you think first she's the bad girl or she's the bad guy,
Mhm.
and then you get the thing all wrapped up, and the thing, and then you find out, and we hope you get a little bit um to think about your own perceptions because you thought wrong in the beginning, you know? That's
Hmm.
a little bit as well the thing where you ask a little bit about your own prejudices and stuff, you know?
Hmm.
So, and he did this beautifully, and he did now a beautiful one for Storm, um, that is, yeah, coming out on the 15th with the album. And then we have next one that I really want to mention here
Hmm.
because I think it's a really nice thing. There's a video coming from for Kater, for the only German
Oh,
song on the album that is quite ironic and very unusual. And this is a crazy video. It's the craziest video we've done so far. It is a wild ride through Berlin with a lot of Berlin original figures in there. Um, you really want to point this one out. So if you like our stuff, and it's the cherry on the cake after the album, and I think it's really worthwhile to take this one. It's going to come out in May.
oh, okay. Can you give us any idea what, like, where do you want to hold the story idea?
Um,
You
Yeah,
will just have to wait for it.
I know I can read. I mean, anyway, you as it's such an incredible story. I can't actually really reveal it because it's really crazy right through Berlin. It is actually this person Carter played by me. It's the second one where I act.
Oh,
The
cool.
person Carter, his story a little bit, which is not a person in the lyrics. In the lyrics, Carter is another person, but here we named in on the set we called him Lewis, but he hasn't got a name. Who actually um, is the old dandy party king of he was the party king of Berlin, but he went down the drain, and now we get a little bit to get his story, and we follow him through Berlin um in his bad times and get revealed a little bit how he got there,
Oh, interesting.
surf with him through Berlin because the song talks about all these kind of people who have the talent to always get into the same shit. You
Okay.
know?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
one are very sympathetic, like that's the first verse. Friends we probably all have, you know, this friend who always has problems, drugs, and then he gets out of them again, and then he falls into them again. But every time
Mhm.
you meet him, he has this one great idea that will solve everything. You go, oh
Sure.
no, not again. This
Yeah,
is going to be your next disaster. Don't you know it by now?
right.
And the second verse is about a person who tends to always fall for the next sect, you know, or for the next, you know,
Like fat or a thing.
yeah. She starts with Asian sects and then goes into Christian sects and whatever, and every time works for free and stuff, and doesn't get happy. So it's a little bit like these things, and in this ironic way, we take a very nice view of Berlin and its figures and its corners from the clubs to the streets.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for the albums and also obviously excited for these videos because you guys do such a great job on them. And I
Thank
appreciate your
you.
time, Nick. Thank you so much, man, for doing this.
Thank you. I hope I didn't extend it too much now in the
Oh, no,
end,
no,
but I
no, no,
really
no.
want
I
to
not at all. I just didn't want to take too much of your time. So I love
I'm
it, man.
fine.
I have one more actually question for you if you have a minute.
Yeah,
I
sure.
want to know if you have any advice for
For
aspiring artists, like new
yeah,
anyone that wants to do this as a musician or you know
um,
any bit of art, I guess.
yeah, don't probably what I pointed out before already. Um, don't be too timid on one hand, and don't be too stubborn on the other one. Um, see openly what other people bring, There's so many cool people with so many good ideas and so many good capabilities and talents. And so that's the stubborn side. Don't think you're always on the right side. Let things flow, and try to put your the need of self-esteem a little bit back, to flatter your ego. Just work on your art. And then on the other side, be confident on this. Let it flow. And when it comes and you like it, you like it. You like it. Rick Rubin, a very famous saying from Rick Rubin is, art is gift to God or to the gods or whatever you want. You're not doing it for the public. You're not doing it for the audience. I mean, you want it to be loved by the audience, but you have to let it flow. You have to do what you think is right without being too selfish and pushing people away who could add something good, but
Yeah.
let it be. If your neighbor who does metal or who does blues doesn't like it, okay, it's probably not your audience, but if you're convinced of it, it's good.
Bringing it backwards.